All right, let's jump right in. I want you to think about something for a second. What if everything you think is real? Your life, all your struggles, this entire world, what if it was all just temporary? An illusion? Today, we're going to break down a pretty mind-bending philosophical argument from Ryuho Okawa. He suggests that our reality is basically just a quick stop on a much, much bigger journey. So the whole idea we're digging into today really hangs on this one single powerful concept. What you think of as your life in this world is, in fact, not the real thing. It is temporary. I mean, let that sink in. The argument is that everything we see, touch, and feel, it's not the real deal. It's just a temporary show. Okay, so right away, you're probably thinking, where's the proof, right? If this life isn't real, what's the evidence? Well, according to this way of thinking, you won't find the answer in a science lab or some ancient scroll. Nope. The evidence is something every single one of us knows intimately. It's suffering. So how in the world does suffering prove that our reality is fake? It's a big leap, I know, but the whole argument is built around this fascinating concept, which has roots in Buddhist thought. It's a framework that tries to categorize all human pain, and it's called the 8 sufferings. The specific term is shakuhaku. Now, you can almost think of it like a diagnostic tool for being human. It's a way of breaking down and identifying the core, fundamental reasons why life, from this point of view, is just inherently painful. And this is where it gets really interesting. It takes the stuff we all just accept as the normal cycle of life, being born, getting old, getting sick, and eventually dying, and it completely flips the script. It says, no. These aren't just natural processes. These are the first 4 fundamental sufferings that are baked into our existence here. And it doesn't stop there. On top of those big physical things that you just can't avoid, the argument layers on these 4 other kinds of pain. The more psychological stuff. We're talking about the heartbreak of being separated from people you love, or the pain of having to deal with people you can't stand. And then there's that constant, nagging frustration of wanting something you can't have. It's all part of the package. So, here's the big takeaway from all this. This is the crucial point. The logic goes like this. A real world, our true home, wouldn't be designed this way. It wouldn't have pain and suffering as its core operating system. So the fact that all this suffering is totally inescapable, well, that's presented as the definitive proof that this place, it's not the final destination. It's just a temporary stage. Okay, so if this world is just a place of suffering, a temporary illusion, then what's the point? Why are we even here? This is where the whole argument makes a really important turn. It moves away from the problem and gives us a purpose, and it does it with a really powerful metaphor that changes how you see everything. And here it is. This is the idea that changes the whole game. This world we're in, it's not a prison. It's not some cosmic mistake. It's a school, a classroom, and every single challenge, every bit of that suffering we just talked about, it's all part of the curriculum. It's a lesson plan designed for just one student, your soul. So the idea is that our true selves, who we really are eternal souls. We're just borrowing these physical bodies for a little while to learn some very specific lessons. I love this one metaphor used in the source material. It's like we're all gems, and by bumping up against each other, through all our struggles and interactions, we're actually polishing each other, refining our souls. You can see the 2 worlds laid out so clearly here. It creates this really stark contrast, right? On one side, you've got this temporary world, Earth. It's an illusion, a school, defined by suffering. But on the other side, you have the true world, the spirit world. And that's reality. That's freedom. That's home. All right, so if life here is just a school, a temporary assignment, what happens when the bell rings? Where's graduation? Where do we go next? Where is our real home? The answer, according to this philosophy, is the spiritual world. That's the idea. It's the place we came from before we were born, and it's the place we're all heading back to after we die. That is our true life. This is just the field trip. And if you think about it, that completely redefines the purpose of, well, everything. All the things we chase here on Earth, money, success, fame, they become secondary. The real point of being here is to train your soul, to get it ready for the main event, for the real eternal life that's waiting for us when this one is done. So, where does that leave us? What are we supposed to do with all this information? Well, according to the source, just understanding this isn't enough. It's not just some
cool idea to think about. It actually comes with a huge responsibility. It comes with a mission.
And the speech asks this question head on. Why does it even matter? Why is it necessary to know this truth? I mean, what really changes in your day-to-day life if you start to believe that this is all just a school for your soul? The answer is pretty powerful. It gives you strength. The idea is that once you truly know your own eternal nature, you become resilient, unshakable. The speech uses this amazing image. It says you become unbreakable like a diamond. Because if you know who you really are, then all the temporary suffering of this world, it just can't break you. It can't touch your true self.
And that personal strength, that inner resilience, is meant to transform into something much bigger. It's a mission. The goal isn't just to keep this truth to yourself, it's to spread it. The ultimate vision is to help create what's called a Buddha land right here on Earth, a society that's actually built on these true, eternal values.
Which brings us to this final, powerful call to action. It's not just a suggestion. It's framed as a mission that requires real courage. And it leaves us with a pretty big question to chew on, doesn't it? If you truly, deeply believed that this life was just the warm-up act for an eternal existence, how would that change the way you live, starting right now?